heard it here first.
Yeah. No, it's not.
I'm with you that I think we will see her again, but I do think it's a fair question considering what is DC doing right now with Harley Quinn,
right?
Or any of their properties
in general.
Yeah. You know, we've got Black Adam and we've got a new Shazam, but what is our plan for our Batman, Superman, Harley, like the main core?
Well, sorry. So I'm glad you went down that road because there's so much to talk about in DC in general right now. Because I know that people don't feel bad for millionaires or billionaires ever, but you gotta feel bad for the dude that bought Warner Brothers now, this Discovery guy. What a mess he took over. What an absolute mess. And he's making moves, and there's so many messes that he's trying to clean up. Right? So
shitstorm, Kristian.
Shitstorm. So. We'll start with Ezra Miller, all right? Because you might as well just run out the gate and talk. Have you paid attention to any of this stuff going on?
Yeah.
So
you know they can't find them.
They can't find him.
Can't find him.
Now he's on the run. And so let's take out the lunacy of the actual thing that's going on with this guy. Whatever the hell he's doing with this kid, and this kid's is out and they're missing. And
that's disgusting. I mean,
all of it. It's all horrible. Whatever's going on with it, and they break down what the hell's going on. Fine. But now you switch it back to Warner Brothers, and they're going, hey, we got a $200 million movie in the can, and it's supposed to come out in November. Well, what are we going to do with it? Nothing.
No.
We can do nothing with this movie because there is no win on this movie. Because if you release it with this guy running around the joint, wherever the hell he is, and if they haven't found him by November or whatever, or next year or whatever, they'll find him by then, but still, with all the shit that this guy has gotten himself into, everything, no matter what the hell it is, on a business side, you got to get rid of him. Yeah. You just have to.
I don't know that Warner Brothers / Discovery is going to get rid of Ezra Miller. I think that
what the hell?
I know they just did a test screening of The Flash, and apparently it did excellently.
It looks great.
They're talking about pushing to 2023. I think that Warner Brothers is going to try to get them help. I don't know.
And
that's
let me
the
correct
case.
it too. I am always, I was unaware, and I have to be better. I forgot that they like to be identified as Ezra Miller.
It's one of the more challenging stories to talk about, though, because Takada Iron Eyes, the one that Ezra is grooming.
Yes.
I guess Ezra has given the pronouns of they, them, but Takada's
Supposedly
parents
grooming,
are giving
right? Supposedly grooming?
yeah, allegedly grooming.
Yes.
But the parents are saying no. What are you guys talking about? And apparently Takada doesn't even have a phone right now. So
I don't know what
the whole thing is.
It's a mess. But let's say it is great.
Yeah.
Right. But that's why the problem is this: if you leave the movie in the can and you have this movie that could be a hit, you lose millions upon millions of dollars. Because you're not releasing it, plus the fact it's the epic return of Michael Keaton, which you're not going to... I mean, I know he's going to also be in the Batgirl movie, or he's going to be in... I think so, yeah, the Batgirl movie.
I think that's right.
But he's supposed to debut in this first. So you have this kind of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield type of... Andrew Garfield return, and McGarfield.
I like McGarfield.
I like that too. But it's a good blast in the multiverse. But either way... You have this return, and you can't do anything about it because if you release it and it does well, do you want to make a sequel with this guy? That's part one. Part two is if you recast it and do the whole movie and do a Christopher Plummer with this movie, there's no way you make a profit on this movie because then you're going to lose you'll probably lose $200 to $400 million.
I'm surprised this wasn't the first film I booked because that would be my life.
That would be right.
Well, what?
You're gonna play Ezra Miller's best friend.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We're in the what?
Right.
Where?
Never coming out.
Where?
It's never coming out.
That would suck. That's so right.
There's so many people that are involved with this.
I know, and that's and they've been involved for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this already has experienced so many delays. I think that Warner Brothers and Discovery has a real decision to make here, not just about Ezra Miller, but also about
Don't switch it.
Amber
I was
Heard.
gonna say don't switch it yet.
I'm not even switching, but just right now they have no baseline. They don't know.
That's why I feel bad
doing.
for him. But no. I think that
Discovery.
I think the Discovery does know what he's doing, and that's why it's like, again, imagine you buy this property, which of course you got a chance to buy Warner Brothers and everything with it, and you have a vision for it, and you have the money for it, you buy it. Yeah. But the problem is, it's like You got some big messes. All right. Well, as long as Ezra Miller can, all right. They're getting all messed up at a bar. Don't calm down.
You're talking about the choke slam situation.
All of it,
first? Yeah.
everything. Then in Hawaii, all right. What can you do? Let's just figure it out and make sure we got to try to get around Ezra Miller. Oh, there's a new problem. Oh, shit. That's part one on The Flash. And then, well, at least we got Aquaman 2. What's happening? And then it's like, because we talked about this last time, with depending on what happens with the trial itself, they're going to be in an interesting situation because they are facing a double standard. Very much so with Aquaman 2, because they got rid of Johnny Depp from Fantastic Beasts when he was found guilty in that suit that she did was in the UK. So now the roles are reversed. Now, obviously, Amber Heard is still out there saying that she stands by everything she said, but in the court, she was found guilty. So if you stand by that, and you stand by that on Warner Brothers, then why aren't you following the same standards from what you had with Fantastic Beasts? Now, he still got paid for those movies, and she would still get paid for those movies, but that's part one. Then you could also say,
we don't even know what her contract says, though. His said to get paid, I'm sure, because she doesn't have as much clout. Maybe it only went through Aquaman 2.
Maybe, but the thing is, I'm just even you get paid for just for even with that movie, right? But like she now is in this place where her role apparently is not even that big in this one, and they cut it down significantly. But the rumors were that there were test screenings, and the people were booing at the screen when she came on, and were going nuts, and and people were saying they're going to boycott the movie if she's in it, and then there was a report that they're getting rid of her and they're going to recast her. That was a report, and then she came out, and her team came out and said, "Bullshit, not happening. It's nonsense and silly and hilarious and not true." But again, it's based in some kind of reality, because if you're Warner Brothers, you got to go, what the fuck do we do now? It's like every day you go and imagine, like, for any time that you think you're having bad business problems. Like, I know, again, I don't feel bad for Warner Brothers. They're making a lot of money. That's two shit situations, and other ones totally. But those are two big shit storms to come through.
We're asking major companies that don't have heart to be the morality police right now. And that is such a position that these people are not equipped for. They didn't know that was what they were signing up for, and I don't know what the right answer is. Part of me does think, and you guys might call me crazy, but part of me does think whatever project you're on, round it out and let them finish it. Like, let's see The Flash and then just say that that's your last project with Ezra unless they get help. Let's see Aquaman 2 and say that's your last project. Like, whatever you already put money towards and everybody else is already winning from, just let's get it out and then move forward. But then the other part of me is like, what do you do for the press lines?
Right. I don't think that's what I'm saying.
What do you do? It's so hard.
That's the problem. I don't think you're crazy for saying that. The problem is also it's a matter of like we mentioned before, and even though you were joking with it, but it is about box office receipts, and it's about whether or not are people going to see it, because you've got to try, especially like The Flash. That movie's going to cost at least $200 million to make, at least, and at every second that Ezra Miller continues to do more and more stuff like this, more people are going to be. And there are tons of other people that work on these movies, and I saw those comments that people said, whether it's stuff on Aquaman 2 and there's stuff on The Flash, and tons of people that you want to support. And it's the same way that if there's a director, or if there's even like West Side Story, for example, and all the stuff that was going on with Ansel Elgort, is people still went and saw that movie, and people wanted to support everyone around, And again, I don't know all the details in that, but I'm just saying
he's in a show right now that's crushing too.
That's what I mean. So I'm just using him as an example, because someone who's been in whether you like the look, Mel Gibson's still in movies, right? And
Kevin Spacey has a movie coming out.
Kevin Spacey has a movie coming out.
What?
So what's that movie coming out? What's it called? Everything.
Never Again. Okay, one more time.
Right, sequel to
and
that.
he's a star of that, right?
Yeah.
They did a bunch of reshoots, didn't they?
Yeah, they had to do a ton of reshoots because they just kept replacing people with. They're like, let's get Armie Hammer. Oh shoot, let's get.
And he was the one that survived it all. Mm-hmm. But either way, it's just I don't envy them.
Is Cosby available?
We don't know. We don't know. Maybe.
I think he is.
I think he is. Him and OJ doing a buddy cop film. But there was the other thing that was that you had mentioned earlier was then there's rumors that this dude from Discovery Warner wants Henry Cavill to come back as Superman, and then they're talking about doing a Superman movie with him. That would be a great move for him. A great move.
Massive.
To get a lot of the fans back on, and not only just Superman fans, but there's a big pocket of people who love Zack Snyder and who love in that area. And if they brought Cavill back,
You're saying with Snyder directing?
I don't think they're going to bring him back. I think that I think that if they were going to do a Man of Steel movie and he wanted to come back to just do it, I think it'd be a massive way to win back a lot of the audience in general. I don't think they would do that. I think you got a better shot of Henry Cavill coming back. I don't think that the Michael B. Jordan rumored Superman is going to happen. The J.J. Abrams one? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But that was also rumored. But there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on in general of what they're trying to do to make some moves. They have to get past these two massive hurdles. I think even though I think that the Flash hurdle is way bigger than the Amber Heard one, because I think Amber Heard right now is in talks. It's still really hot after that. It was like how much that trial was insane.
And it didn't exactly say that they were, he was completely a great dude.
No,
himself,
he was found guilty as well.
Yeah,
and for $2 million for
right.
sure. She was just found more
guilty. Yeah, so it's
right.
The Ezra Miller thing.
I do want to get that clip though. A megabyte.
Yeah, it is really
it's
good.
Hilarious.
The reason with Ezra Miller too, it's like we did just see him in the Fantastic Beasts movie, and I don't think they negatively impacted the Fantastic Beasts movie because the character Credence, is that?
Yeah.
The character
supposed to be
of
a little
Credence,
darker and everything. No.
Yeah, but I think that people don't really.
It's also
think
before
of,
that, but it was before this.
It was before.
This is the one.
Not before all of this.
No, not
before the
all
grooming.
Of it. Before the grooming thing, that was the problem.
But we still don't know
everything
about
else was
the
a problem.
grooming.
But I know we don't know enough about. But this is the other stuff is like, and I'm still on this mindset. I believe Ezra Miller needs a lot of help, and for people around Ezra Miller who can help. They should try.
Did you see the Takata video that Takata put out?
No, you know what, Rox? I try not to dive into these things.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I try to focus on the business
deep.
side of it.
I
know.
That video, Kristian, I was like, okay, Ezra's not the only one in this situation who needs help. They both clearly need to get some support.
But this is why also when people say, though, when they're so hard on whether it's Warner Brothers or Disney or whoever it might be, when, as you said before, they want these corporations and businesses to make these like more. Well, you should do this if this person is a good person, blah, blah, and you got to realize on the flip side of it, it's about business, and it's about, is it going to cost you dollars? Because that's how it shouldn't be all about money. It is. It's what it's about. It's about money. Now, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't make good movies and good product and good stuff. Absolutely, you should. You should have people interested and entertained. And look, and we may or may not talk about it. Like I don't know if there was a show that I was looking forward to more than Obi-Wan Kenobi. When Stranger Things 4, the trailer came out, I said, okay, that'll be interesting. I'm interested. Stranger Things 4 is far superior than anything Obi-Wan is doing. Far superior. And it's the investment in how much is put into it overall. It looks cinematic, it looks all this stuff, and they both have probably the same amount of money, but the quality seems to be going inside of that, and there's also the money that they're using, they're putting it to use. So anytime, it is all about money, and it's a matter of you're slapping down your money for Netflix. I think Netflix overcharges, but then I'm like, okay, well look, the money that I just put down, they're making quality stuff like this, but you got to remember, it's always about money and how you use that money. And it's also, if you're putting out a $200 million, and Aquaman 2 made $1 billion, Aquaman 1 made $1 billion. So when you're putting out that second movie, you want to make sure that it works, and you want to make sure that you're not going to lose cash.
I just think that Aquaman 2, and I could be wrong, but will make more money keeping Amber Heard with the people who wouldn't go than it would recasting her and doing reshoots.
Maybe. Unless it depends on how big that role is. I think that is a definite for Ezra Miller. I think it's. I mean, you
can't.
If you recast Ezra Miller and make a whole new Flash movie, you're essentially just making a new movie,
right?
Whether you shoot the whole damn thing over again or
right.
not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like because we don't know how big
Amber Heard's role.
So if it's like even if it costs like $20 million and you hope maybe we can get that back, or can we cut it down and just cut the role completely? Will it hurt the story because we don't know what the story is, right?
Yeah, I mean, and then I think studios have questions too about some of these are more public trials. Ezra has not been on trial yet. Amber and Johnny both have. Then there's like the Will Smith situation of it all. You know, just saying that sometimes there are things that we see that happen, and what as a society are we okay with? Who are we going to support with our dollar? And who are the studios thinking that we're going to show up to support? Because it's not just one or two people in Hollywood now. It is dozens of people. I mean, hundreds of people in Hollywood.
And it's also a matter of like when you bring up the Will Smith thing. Will Smith, to me, he'll be back in no time because
I think so too.
Yeah,
because we are also our society in general, especially with Twitter. It's like everybody's a villain for about a month, and then until they do something else. Like in the case of like Ezra Miller, who keeps doing things every like 2 months. But like, it's like every time. And then it's Will Smith this will always be with him. It will no matter what.
It's canon.
It's canon now. And people will always say things about him, and there will be some people who refuse to watch his movies, but there's going to be a lot of people who get over it. And as long as he comes back, does his thing, Will Smith's going to be all right. You know, it'll take him a little bit to crawl out of the hole, but he'll be all right. I mean,
do you think that's because it's Will Smith and he's built up enough credibility over the last 20 years or whatever it is for us to say this was a one-off as opposed to Ezra where it's a 5-off or Amber and Johnny where it seems like
it looks like again that Ezra Miller Will Smith again, someone who's going through a lot of stuff mentally right now, doesn't excuse anything that he did. I still think that you don't do that in live television when you just don't strike anybody. It's like but it's a whole other conversation. The point is, I do think that because of everything you just said, and it's a matter of how he comes back, what he says. He'll do some more interviews. He'll do all that stuff. I think Will Smith will be fine. But yeah, there's a lot that's just going on in general, and it's going to keep happening.
Let's
no matter
take
what.
Ezra and say that they shut down the Flash.
Yeah.
They don't put the Flash out.
Or dump it on HBO Max.
They just make it so that now the Flash is just really not part of the Justice League. Whatever moving forward, they either recast or Ezra's just not involved. And instead, Ezra comes out and puts out a statement. Goes to trial, find out that the grooming process was maybe happening there, and Ezra says, I need help, I need support. Goes to therapy, goes to get help, and in 5 years, do we think that Hollywood's like, okay, we could bring back Ezra? Like,
I don't know. You just don't. It's too hard to say without all the details of what's going to happen in the future. And that actually is a good transition into